Hi guys, it's the
We're back and happy International Women's Day. This is the day that we are recording it on. So thank you to everyone, every single woman who has supported us, who has inspired us, who has lifted us up, and has showed us the possibilities of doing this.
Yes.
So thank you to all the women in our lives, the ones who have created the stepping stone for us and helping us create our own stepping stones.
Yep.
It's just a beautiful thing when we see women come together. And I know our last episode we spoke about the bad side of it, but here today we're not talking about none of that crap.
No. Before we get into today's episode,
I know.
we are bringing you the matcha tea.
Matcha. Don't you wanna matcha?
The matcha tea.
I was gonna say Nora.
No, I
How
always
was
beat
your
you. I
week?
always beat you.
You got my.
I did.
Well, this past week, as always, the weekends consist of gyms and taking Caleb to different activities. But I felt like this weekend was a little bit different because usually after the gym, both gyms, we go and visit my parents. But last Saturday we visited them. My sister also came with the girls, so it was so cool to see them literally cooking in the kitchen. The kids were in the kitchen cooking, and I don't know how to say this in English, but they are bollitos of, was it yuca? I don't know. They made some bollitos with something and like bacalao, I think, which is cod. All of that. I'm not a fan of none of that stuff, so I just let them have it. But it was cool to see Caleb again. This kid loves the kitchen. They were chopping it up, and with Juliana especially, just that was interesting. She just takes the back seat and just observes. Caleb and Juliana are hands on, so it was nice to see them again bonding. And then Sunday, again, go to the gym, usually call my mom, bring her coffee or something, but she beat me to the punch. She called me and she was like, after the gym, we're going to go for a walk. And I was like, oh, crap. I looked down and that day I was supposed to wear jeans. I happened to put on leggings. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. And I was like, even so, with the jeans, I would have just still done it because I was like, it's a freaking walk. I've walked miles in jeans before. I'm not going to make any excuses. Um, so that was nice because it really set the tone for the week as far as me like, oh, I can go for a walk around the neighborhood or I can do my squats. I can do this and that. I've even been doing squats in the shower.
Oh wow.
Talk about multitasking.
Yeah, seriously.
Especially when you're washing your hair and you have to leave certain things on for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Use those few minutes, and if you safely can, do some exercise in the shower. You know what I'm saying? I mean, other people do other things in the shower. Wink, wink. So why not do something for yourself?
Yes.
And then again, still at that family quality time, which was nice. I came back home. My mom came back with us, and we grilled. The weather was absolutely beautiful last Sunday, and we grilled, and through that same time of all that grilling, I was able to meal prep for the week. I was like, oh, there's so much chicken left over, there's so much this left over. So I was like, I am set. And if you guys have been following along, I've been working on upping my protein intake and being more conscious and intentional of it. The goal is 100 grams per day. And I feel like now I'm kind of doing it without having to think about it. Because again, I've set myself up or put shit in the fridge that I know is going to give me that protein intake. For example, this morning I didn't have time to sit there and make my turkey bacon and the eggs and all that jazz. But I had a yogurt that I found. I forget what the brand is. I think it's called Protein. It literally has 25 grams of protein. And then I had two mini granola bars with it that had 3 grams each. So 6 plus 25, 31 grams. I would
For breakfast.
For breakfast. My goal is I try to do 50 grams because that way it's like the rest of the day is just a lot easier to consume that. Especially a piece of grilled chicken. I think it has like 40 something grams, which is insane.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no fucking way. But
There is.
there is.
Fucking way.
No, get some piece of grilled chicken if you're also on a journey of more protein intake. And then another thing that happened is the cleaning ladies came this week. Shout out to Chayla and her girl. they helped me flip over Caleb's bed. So the bed that we originally got him, it's full size slash like a queen. Just got him the big boy bed automatically. That way we don't have to keep upgrading and buying a new mattress and figuring out what to do with a tiny mattress. Even though I was ready to use his crib mattress on a small taller bed, but I was like, this kid is growing fast. I'm gonna have to keep doing this. So just did it from the get. And then the bed frame that we got him, it starts off low. And then what you can do is you flip it over once they're getting a little bigger and more, less accident prone to fall off the bed. So we flipped it over yesterday. And what a difference. And then we also centered the bed in his room because I had it again against a wall to prevent falls and rolling off the bed. And I didn't get to record his reaction when he got home, but he was elated. He was like, "Oh!" He was like, "My bed is bigger." It was so cute. And then like now it's a little bit higher up, so we can see out the window a little bit better on top of his bed.
Aww.
So it was just again, it's just those milestones that can seem small, but they're so big. And he hasn't slept in the bed like that yet because last night he slept over my parents. He's actually off from school today. And again, we're recording this on a Friday. So took advantage of my village. And I'm excited for him to actually sleep in his quote unquote big boy bed, even though it's a bit of big boy bed, his higher big boy bed. So I think that's it. I mean, I'm sure some other shit I'll be But Nora, how's yours?
Good. Last week, well, on Sunday, so the beginning of this week, I took Ollie to a birthday party. That was a very big deal for me because I am notorious for saying yes. And then the day comes and my anxiety literally cripples me and I don't want to go anywhere.
And very proud of you.
I told this to my
therapist. It's important to sure. I know it's hard.
Yeah. But it's so hard. It's so hard. And I came up with every excuse in the book. I'm like, I don't know anybody there. I only know the birthday boy and his mom and dad. I don't know the rest of the people. I mean, I didn't even tell Ollie about it. Maybe he won't even notice. And I was like, no, I'm going to take him. Excuse me. I was like, I'm going to take him. He needs to make more friends. So we did go, and I started getting a little anxious because he's very shy. We go in. He's kind of playing by himself, and I'm like, oh my God. And he tells me I want to go home, and I'm like, no, let's try going over here. Let's try going over here, whatever. And the mom noticed, and she's like, Smith, honey, come play. Look, Ollie came to come to see you. Let's go. Let's all play together. And she's like, Oliver, let me get your sweater. You're gonna play with Smith. And then they like he just made such a group of friends. And he's like, great job, guys. Let's go. And I was like, oh my God, now all of a sudden he's like the cool kid. What just happened? Like, okay.
Because you gave it a chance, and that mom.
Yeah. Oh,
shout out to her.
Yes. Oh my God. I love
So how really I thought you didn't show up.
I know. And I went, and guys, let me tell you, this lady, like, she gets me. She is literally, like, she gets me. So she had
the kid strong mom?
Yeah, that I talk to all the time. That her son looks identical to Oliver. Yes. It's funny because as I was walking in, people were like, why is Smith with that lady? And I'm like, this is my son.
This is his birthday stuff.
Right? Seriously. And then we walk in, we're like, whatever. I go to the side where they have like the food and everything, and this lady came in with wines, Trulies, beers. Like she had that shit lined up. She's like,
at her house?
No. So it's a place. It's called NJ Playgrounds or something. Okay. So you go there to buy playground equipment.
Also, is that the one that has all the play sets?
Yeah, so it's all play sets. Okay, so they sell them and put them together. But their showroom, they rent it out for parties.
One of my friends, I saw she hosted her twin daughters the birthday day, and I was like, oh my God, I keep remembering that is a dope place.
Yeah, and
I didn't know you could bring liquor there. Yeah.
Oh, sure. And one of the moms was like inquiring, and she's like, we only have an AM session. You could bring mimosas. I was like, yo, this lady is dope. Like, what?
I love it. That's because she had the party very early.
Yeah.
Which was reasonable because of the age group.
Yeah.
Because I think the twins were turning 3. So it was like at 10 a.m. I think that shit was done by like 1, I would assume. And she had like a breakfast.
Yeah, a breakfast.
I was like,
that's
that's
awesome. Yeah, she did pizza and salads because she made sure like that people had salad. And then I even told her, I was like, when she brought up the cupcakes, she did cupcakes vanilla on vanilla or chocolate on vanilla. And I literally said, thank you so much for not having those cupcakes with all those crazy dyes.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, one, my husband hates anything that's not vanilla like that. So that's how she said it. And she goes, and two, like, they already put enough crap on the stuff. And I'm telling you that I love her. And then when we were leaving, like we stayed till the end. Like all the parents were about to start. I was like, I think we could start going now. And she comes down to Ollie and she's like, Oliver, I'm gonna invite you to my house and we're gonna have a nice play date with Smith and some other friends. And let's try to see if we could go to the movies. And I'm like, this is a good mom.
Yes.
Like she's a cool ass mom. Like and I vibe with her. I messed with her. I was like, you know what? I like you. You like people. And we follow each other on Instagram. So like she's constantly sending me memes and vice versa. Like we're cool. Yeah, but so we had that. And then speaking of my Ollie B, he lost another tooth.
I love this story.
Yeah. So he lost.
I already heard it once. I'm ready to hear it.
Like, I'm ready. So he lost another tooth, and he was like, "Oh my god!" Like he wasn't scared. He wanted to take it out because he knew that the tooth fairy would give him something. So at school, they took it out. They put it in like a little chest for him. It was so cute, and I'm like, okay. And then he puts the tooth underneath the pillow, and in the middle of the night, I was like, shit, let me go and be the tooth fairy. So the next morning, he wakes up and he goes, Mommy, can I check under the pillow? And I was like, sure.
And that's also part of my favorite part. The fact that he didn't go and do it on his own. He was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, he said, Mommy, can I check under my pillow? And I was like, yes, you can. And guys, it was the most wholesome and innocent thing in the world. He picks it up and he goes, oh
like you said,
the innocent, it was just so cute. He's like, I have money, I'm gonna buy Legos. And apparently he told everybody in school that he was gonna buy Legos. So we gotta go to Target to go get this boy some Legos.
I was there, take him to the Lego Discovery.
Yeah, I said that before. He liked it. I want to do that on a day that I know.
But I want it when they have the classes. I don't know what I never really seen it like schedule. Maybe we can take the boys.
Yeah, I want him to go like on a day that he has, because his schedule is different from Alina's, but like a day that Ollie just has off from school or a half day, and we could do like an Ollie day and take him so that it could just be about him, because Alina doesn't give two craps about the Legos. And I think it's like, she's a whole mood. And like you're trying to get both kids to kind of, whatever, but I'm like, no, let's just have his day or whatever, and it's better for him. It's better for him. But yeah, that's pretty very easy. I got sick for like 2 days. Just
how you recovered.
Yeah. Alberto's car, like he was driving, popped his tire, which was crazy. But thank God my job is flexible, and they I let them know what happened. And we have one car and so grateful.
Important.
Yes. Oh my
flexible.
God. Yes.
Trabajos,
jobs. Yes. But next week, I'm like, I get the ting of like, I feel so guilty. So next week, I'm going to be showing my face there and like so much of the house.
Just go for like a day and a half and I'll be
right. And like, we got enough energy, right. But yeah, so I think this is my favorite episode that we're doing this season. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we've had some dope episodes, but this is something that Cindy and I have been
like battling for a long time, and it's just like we finally, like you say, put pen to paper. This was back like in January.
We
got serious.
That mirror. But you want to know what it was? I think at least for me, I'm not speaking for you, but for me,
you can speak for me.
I felt that my number was so embarrassing and that no one could relate to me. I mean, I know strangers could because I see it, but like
I see it.
A close friend of mine to not to be able to have an open conversation and be like,
girl, say
this is my number, Cindy, and you're like, bitch, because the blind leads the blind.
Let me tell you,
Right? Seriously. No, no.
we only we are holding ourselves accountable.
Table.
And like we were saying, like the biggest thing for me was, of course, if you guys know my story, I was home for 2 years and change,
Mm-hmm.
and I acted as if my income was the same, before I went on maternity leave. So I was literally living. I did not change my lifestyle, and that was like the biggest realization. But last summer, I shared it with my older brother, and he was like, "Well, you're just paying back for the last 2 years of your life." And that alone shifted my perspective on the debt.
Mm.
Because again, it's just that elephant in the room that you're just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but I really wasn't really doing anything towards it in that moment, even though I knew. And we constantly like spoke about it. You could talk about it all dang day. But are you putting in the work?
Yeah. For me,
What was
So-
like that?
okay, so
Like you can't turn back now.
yeah,
So what was that moment? Yeah.
for me, it's important to kind of talk about how I got into the mess. I mean, I like to shop, but I'm not one to go into a store like when I was younger and just literally spend my entire paycheck.
Yes.
Like, I'm not. That's not me.
I
mean,
used to be that way.
I mean, you guys know I have
There's levels
yeah.
to this.
There's levels. There's layers to this. I'm like,
at this age.
Yeah, exactly. So when the pandemic hit, obviously, a lot of things shifted. So I am the oldest of three girls, and my mom decided to purchase a home, an investment home, and ended up losing her job. The house was put under my sister's name, and I had I felt bad because the investment property that she got screwed over. There was like a squatter living there that wasn't paying rent, obviously, because they were a squatter. And then another tenant left.
What's a squatter for those?
Someone who literally just goes into your apartment and says that they're just going to live there. Like they change locks and everything, and they just sit there. And New Jersey has like rights that you can't. Like they weren't during that time. They were not evicting people. So even if that person was there, like they changed the locks, like the cops are not going to really care. They're not going to be like, oh, well, this person is squatting in your home. Like they don't give a shit. They're like
it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. And if you are in Florida, they actually have squatters' rights. Squatters' rights is if they're there for, I think it's 2 weeks or 30 days consecutively, that they have rights to live in that place.
For like how long?
I don't know the actual I just remember when I used to work in a property management company, we dealt with that a lot. And I was like, what?
And how does that happen? Mostly like when the property is like
that, or like if they notice that an apartment has like an open window, or like they just kind of scout out the place. It's nothing. It's disgusting. It's horrible.
So just
but
heads up, people.
So
yeah,
everything. So my mom's property was under my sister's name, and my sister's like, well, I don't know what you need to do. You need to figure it out. You need to pay this because it's going to screw up my credit. And I felt terrible. And of course, being the big sister that I am, not only was I paying the mortgage of the house that I was living in, my investment property, my tenant stopped paying me, so I was paying that, plus my mom's investment property. So I was literally using like whatever I could to pay on credit cards. That's what I was using. So like food, things like that. Like I still had to pay for therapies, even though they were virtual, like doing all these and just racking up the debt. Lo and behold, my mom pays off, sells her house after it was like the most nightmare-ish thing in the world. But what I had paid for her still didn't make a dent because real estate was also like people weren't doing showings, things like that. And that's my husband's primary income. I still was working because I was essentially virtual regardless. Like none of my clients were around this area. So they made us work from home. So I started chipping away at the debt as much as I could, but being the only income was very, very hard. And I'm the type, it's like, I can't see, I'm blind.
Like remind me to me was somebody gonna take care of it.
Someone's gonna take care of
it.
So that's
Oh my
really
God.
like that point. Honestly, the past year, I have not been able to sleep. I felt a huge weight on my chest and just kind of like sitting there and like, if we lose everything, it'll be my fault because I didn't manage money properly. I know that there's so much against me, but I can't sit here and make excuses. Like, and the thing is, like, I work my ass off, and sometimes I'm like, oh fuck, I deserve this. But it's not something like I'm not sitting there being like I'm buying shoes or like
Right.
no, I fucking deserve this. I deserve to go and fix my kids' rooms from scratch because it brings me joy. Like, so that's typically the what was going on. Um, I got to a point where I was sick and tired of being out of control
Yeah. Yeah.
and feeling out of control. And it got embarrassing as well as it came from a scared mentality. So like very scared to be like, honey, this is our debt. Like, and it's also good to note that not all debt is bad debt. Um, there's a whole lot of research on that. There's not all debt is bad debt, but I knew I needed to have a plan, and I knew that my focus needed to be shifted to because when I go, I'm not just saying this is my ADHD, but it's a fact, and my therapist tells me when I hyperfixate on something, I excel at a point that is like insane because I hyper focus and hyper like everything about it is like this is it. So when it comes to my budget, this bitch getting paid. Like so I said 14 months. Hold my beer. Like,
I'll do it too.
yeah, like hold my beer. 8 months, don't you fucking worry about it. Like, it's coming. Money is coming. And it's gonna go to this. So
we are living in an abundant
mindset. Yeah. So we wanted to share with you guys because right now, we are in trenches.
We're currently in the trenches. When we got our binoculars on, we're looking out on the battlefield, and if it's nighttime, we got the night.
Yeah, we got the night vision goggles. We got our tack gear on.
We got the bulletproof vest. Like we ready. What?
The
Kevlar.
yeah.
We got the smoke.
Yeah. The
We-
grenade. And we have our tank. So this is the tank. We're the tank right now.
We're armed with the tools that we need to plan this attack
Against the creditors.
against our freaking creditors.
So you're gonna go on this journey with us, and we're going to tell you our aha moment, some resources that we have, and that we're
Some
using, some
setbacks.
setbacks, as well as really just kind of talk about our plan of attack, because it's funny because I am a pen to paper person. I always have been. And then Cindy likes the Excel spreadsheet and like plugging in the numbers. And I'm like, no, that already overwhelms me. But I do use it I use that for facts. So like, I feel like when I enter all the information, I'm like, this is it. And then I just highlight it in green. I'm like, yes, baby. Like that. Like that's
Like
where I
it's
can.
kind of the fact check. You think like what you put pen to paper.
Correct. So I'm like, this matches. Or like when I need like the interest so that I can like have it automatically calculate. It's because if you know how to use Excel, girl, that is your best motherfucking friend. That is your best friend. All right. So our first aha moment, I found this podcast. It's called the Money Love Podcast by Paige Pritchard. And she was just literally spitting gems left and right.
And sometimes, like I said, that's all it takes. Hearing the same information on completely different from a completely different perspective, and that's what she, 100% different.
Yes.
Because I was like, I literally I think I listened to it twice.
Yeah.
And I was ready to listen to it for the third time, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I need to go back and take notes.
Yes. So everything that she talks about, and like the craziest thing is we're in a digital age. So like if you go on TikTok and start putting budgeting, you'll get those snippet videos, like, you know, a couple of minutes, like a couple of seconds just to go through and all these things. YouTube, there's a bunch of YouTube things that you can, it all depends on what medium you're looking for. So for us, podcasting is that, you know, we play it on the background and, you know, when we're driving, blah, blah, but she had a lot of references. And then she actually she did an episode with this woman called Kate Northrup. I may be saying her name wrong, but she has something called the Money Love Story. And in her book, which I read, she goes through how she came from a good financial background with her family. They were never scraping by or whatever. But she came from, like, she started her career in an MLM, a multi-level marketing. So like the Monets, the Herbalives, like all that stuff, but some other company from God knows what she was doing. But that's like, she knew that she was very good at what she did, and that's how she made her money and all of this stuff. But she started realizing that she was also just spending a lot and put herself in this debt. And she came up with this theory called the money love story. Now, I printed the PDF and I will add it to the show notes, but it's a psychological thing. The way you spend your money and the way you feel about money goes to how you were in your childhood. How were you raised? To think about money, to feel about money. Was money seen as evil? Was money like something that was scarce? Or was money thought of like, oh, it just comes and goes, like I deserve it, I deserve, or whatever. So you go through this whole test and you write to yourself what your feelings of money love, like what's your money love story. So I did that. I did the whole pamphlet. I was like, here we go, we're going to do all this stuff. And yes, I come from a place of fear, scarcity, and also just kind of like, it's mine, this is mine. I'm like, I deserve, but not in a way that I'm like, I deserve and it's going to be coming to me, or doing it in a smart way.
Yeah.
So we will add that to the show notes. But
and like speaking on that, like with me, I didn't get to do the PDF book for me. And I don't know, it's always been my relationship with money, like, oh, it comes and goes.
Yeah.
It ebbs and flows, how everything goes. So that's why my spending was out of control. I was like, I'm spending it, it's gonna come back. So it could be a good thing, but also if you're not in full control of where your spending is going, you're gonna freaking spiral. And that's at least why I fucking spiraled. Yeah. And especially again, those 2 years of being home, I wasn't smart. And also too, the communication of it, I did not communicate with Calvin. Like we never sat down like, okay, this is the plan, you're gonna stay home, but this is our financial plan. Because our bills, like our home bills were so minimal that it was like, honestly, it was a joke. And then he thought that I was just good. And I'm like, honey.
No, I was not.
I wasn't. And unfortunately, like the way that he uncovered that was very embarrassing to me. But honestly, now I'm just glad it's all out there.
Isn't that like a big weight?
It was, but I also felt, again, back to the embarrassment, like I felt very small. I felt like a child. Again, I behaved like a damn child with my finances. So I was just like, yeah, it was bad. And it still, I guess, is, but the fact that, again, the realization of it and communicating, like even now, he's like, oh, do you need this or that? Da, da, da. So I'm being more, like, again, communicating, or when something happens, or if I paid off something, like, hey, I'm down, whatever. I'm keeping him up to date of what I'm doing, where before, I wasn't doing any of that. And that's so fucked up, so unfair, especially when you have a financially responsible spouse. So I talked about it in my therapy session probably for fucking months.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my God. It's literally, I feel like it's worse than freaking cheating.
Yeah.
When you're hiding your finances, you're bad. finances. I mean, if it's good, then shit, you can be like, surprise, honey.
Yeah.
I just saved 50K for our next project.
Yeah.
No, I was like, hey, surprise, we're gonna be behind on that project because I fucked up really bad. And unfortunately he had a really nice financial goal for us last year, but he needed my contribution towards it, and I wasn't able to be the team player in my marriage. So again, we're working through that hurdle. And if you're freaking single right now, like, get your shit. Obviously, get your mental in order, but get your fucking finances in order. I promise you. Like, and I was talking on the Instagram stories. Don't be like me. Like, just don't. I know it's quote unquote taboo and blah 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 to talk about your finances. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's such an important part of any relationship. Again, even like when you get a job.
Yep.
You want to be able to negotiate and communicate, but if you're not firm on exactly what you need to take care of yourself financially, then you're not going to speak up for yourself. So that's my little tangent on my relationship and how my relationship has always been with money. I still feel that way. Again, living in that abundant mindset, but I'm also not cautious, but I guess alert and aware of my money that's coming in and out.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't aware of that shit.
Yeah. So we're gonna share our plan of attack.
Plan of action.
Yeah. So did you want to start first with yours or
I'll start. This is like meditation, dead ass, because man, again, it's just first step realizing
what's your number?
You're kind of like holding yourself freaking accountable. So my number is up there. I'm not gonna share the exact numbers, but again, very out of control. And again, you have to also be aware, and this is why I feel like it makes it hard for a lot of people, is that life continues to happen while your debt is just either amounting or just interest is building up, and it's tough. But again, me realizing that and making plans, like, okay, I know January for sure, like it's this person's birthday, that person's birthday for sure, there's gonna be something, and I want to give a gift. And then even like this past holiday was also, that was my first, I think, plan, like the first stepping stone in my plan. Because every single holiday, just whatever gift I want to buy, just put it on a card, worry about it later, forget, oh, somebody else can pay that. Uncle Sam, somebody, like Theo, not me, Kelvin, and that's not fair to me. That's not fair to me. And again, it's not going to be fair to my partner, my family, my friends, etc. So for the holidays, I literally was like, all right, who am I gifting? What's my budget? And I literally kept it. I was so frugal throughout the holidays that once January came in, I was like, okay, I didn't dig myself into a deeper hole, and that's thanks to the money. And I think I thought we heard it in January. It was December.
Yeah, December.
It was December.
Yeah, December.
It was December. Okay, because I was like, I felt like it was January. It was December, and that podcast episode truly helped me stand on business and stay firm with my frugal Christmas spending. And then, and I've always had this budget spreadsheet, the one that I shared with Nora, and I used it like crazy in the past. It has helped me tackle debt in the past. Again, this is probably my third time around, which is crazy because you can easily get out of it, or you can work to get out of it, but it's so easy to fall right back. So
like you work so hard to lose all this weight, and then it's like easy to gain it all back. So it's literally how it is.
So this is my third time around.
Third time's a charm.
Welcome, guys. Yes. And I refuse to let this happen to me again. And I'm gonna walk you guys through how I'm not gonna let that happen again.
Mhm.
So first of all, knowing exactly like with that spreadsheet, like I said, I used it in the past. But once I started staying home those 2 years, I threw that shit to the fucking wind. That shit disappeared. Sheet? What? Because even when I re-looked at it last year, I was like, damn, the last date on this was like 2019. What the fuck, Cindy? So again, that's the past. We gotta focus on the now. So what I did was replugged in all my numbers to the spreadsheet, and for me, seeing all of it and then seeing that total at the end, like what am I left with? That to me helped me get to where I'm at now. So this was again the very tail end of December, January that I started really using this spreadsheet every single time I had money coming in. That could be from anywhere. I was calculating everything, even if it was just $10 extra. Where is that $10 going? Because again, the numbers can get really scary, but you have to look at the small stuff. And another thing that has helped me, again, I enjoy shopping. I enjoy a good retail therapy, but I'm like, okay, what does that look like in this current plan? Because I noticed, and also from the podcast, some people are great at being strict, like this is this, and that's it. I ain't fucking in my house until this happens. But I have a bunch of friends, a bunch of family. There's always things I want to be able to support you still through my financial debt journey, payoff journey. How does that look like for me? So for instance, like I know, okay, this month, this and this event is happening. Every time I get paid, I set money aside for that. And I also set money aside now. I know I cannot go into a Home Goods. I cannot go into a Marshalls, TJ Maxx, none of those stores because every time I get paid right now, and I'll share that number, I give myself about anywhere between $100 to $175 of slush money, aka fun money, and that's separate from again knowing that I have other events going on because again a ticket could cost a minimum of $50. So I kind of like see like when somebody posts there, for instance, what we do, save the date, it's going to cost this much, it needs to be paid by this much. I plug that in somewhere on my spreadsheet. And that's another thing too. I set out the spreadsheet for the entire year up to December, my last paycheck of this year. God willing, that it remains the same or shit. I'm hoping for that shit to increase or add another check to the spreadsheet. So me allowing myself that money, and again, that's money that I'm using at the Target bullseye. That's another thing too. I'm not shopping too much outside of that Target bullseye, and if I am, that item needs to be like $5 or less. And again, this is what's been working for me. If I need to buy like any like salads or like juices or whatever randomly outside of grocery shopping, that's the card that I use for that. And again, what I did was just have two separate banks, two separate checking accounts. That's again, this is what's working for me. So I have my fun debit card. Again, if we go out for a lunch or something that wasn't really planned, that it was a kind of last minute, I look at that budget, I'm like, okay. And then I'm even being more conscious, like when I go out to eat, okay, I'm gonna order just one drink. I'm gonna enjoy this one drink. I'm gonna treat myself to this meal. And that's it. Instead of me ordering, sometimes I could order more than one or two drinks. So, and then also Dollar Tree. So again, those are budget friendly places that if you have $100 to spend on whatever until the next time you get paid, that for me, that's been manageable. And now, for instance, like I told you, I was like knowing in the months of the summer and gearing up right before Christmas, I beefed up that slush fund. Like I said, since I did my spreadsheet for the entire year, I beefed up that slush fund. Let's say I think I started it, I think it's September. I started beefing it up. So I know, okay, because again, there's going to be sales, especially like Black Friday sales. I want to take advantage of that. Or like at the beginning of the summer, they have these crazy sales. If you want to buy like something physical for someone, or now I can say, okay, if I want to give them an experience, I know that experience costs this much, or it will cost this much by then, or whatever. You could budget, especially for Christmas. We are in freaking March. Do that from now, however that may look like for you. Start setting aside, even if it's like $20, $15 every paycheck. And come September, re-analyze that number and say, okay, now for the next, well, because from September to let's say that last week till Black Friday, there's maybe like what, 10 weeks, 10, 12 weeks. And that's a lot of freaking patience.
Mhm.
That you can sit there and be like, okay. And again, the planning part of it makes all the sense. So I started also with, I guess, like the debt payoff portion of it, doing that snowball effect. So I started off with my smallest card with my smallest balance. Through that, I've been able to already to pay off two
Just snowball
cards.
or avalanche?
I call it snowball. I guess it's
I think it's the avalanche one.
Avalanche?
Yeah, the smaller one. I'm not sure. Oh,
Oh, yeah. So
I have Google,
let's
so let's see.
see what if there's a difference in the
Continue.
definitions. So I've been using the snowball effect. But again, thanks to Nora sharing this podcast episode and resharing a huge freaking nugget.
Snowball, you're the snowball method. So
And then with avalanche.
Here's avalanche.
I think it's probably taking like the higher interest, maybe.
Prioritize the interest rate. So avalanche is the interest rate, pay off debt with the highest interest first, and then move on to the next.
Gotcha. So interesting enough, I'm now kind of shifting because of a golden ass nugget from the Money Love podcast. So thank you so much for sharing this information. And this is again the importance of listening to the right resources and being around people that are going to share these resources with you. Again, shout out to Nora for putting me on. And again,
I had to think it worked first.
And again, for like you mentioned, being each other's accountability partner, like just being completely transparent. Like these are our numbers, this is what it's looking like. So if you could find that person for you, freaking just be raw and real. Because you're not alone, bro. You're not alone. Because once I started being more open and sharing this, especially during that month of December, a lot of people were like, "Yep, I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat." Like we are. Like don't be fooled out here. Like some people just carry it. I was carrying my debt proud as hell. Like, you would have never known. But now, if you're listening to this, you know you got a special episode of me fucking sharing my numbers or whatever. So again, was able to pay off the two small balances of those cards, look at them, zeroed it out. But that nugget, are we gonna share it?
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that she shared is that one phone call to your credit card company could save you $1,000 plus. And I was like, what? No. Nora did it. It worked. I did it. Freaking worked like triple, where I was able to get a very high interest rate on 3 of my cards down to freaking 2%. And we'll share the details if you're really interested in knowing like what exactly you need to do, what's the verbiage. We'll share that on the side.
So we'll also put we'll link the episode, the podcast episode.
And you gotta do the work. We're just not gonna do it all for you. You gotta again pave that path. And if you're willing to make a change, you gotta listen to all this shit. Listen to us, and then listen to that podcast. So so now because of that, it has shifted because those 2% cards, those were my really high balance cards that I was ready kind of to just tackle at the end because of them being high balance. Even though I knew that interest rate was fucking killing me, that interest that was amounting, I was literally just spitting on it, like spitting on the freaking principal. It was terrible. So now I feel like a huge freaking weight off of my shoulders because yes, the balance is still there, but I'm only getting charged 2% interest as opposed to fucking 29%. So a huge difference. So now I'm gonna tackle. I have 2 other cards that also are high interest. I'm gonna tackle those 2 cards first. So now I'm switching over to the avalanche. And this is something great, fun about your plan. Like just because we started this way doesn't necessarily mean that that's gonna be the trajectory for you to get to that 0. So what is going on with you, girl?
Okay. So my first thing that I did was I needed to see where was my money going. I already knew from the work that I'm doing emotionally and all of that stuff, like I have a bad relationship with money. I do. My mom is a very, I'm depressed, I'm gonna go spend money kind of person. And she racks up that, like, but we're not trying to do that. We're trying to, be financially responsible. So what I did was I printed out my statements for 3 months of my bank accounts. I printed them all out. I took all my highlighters and I highlighted the money coming in, what my housing looked like, expenses like so light, water, all that stuff. And then I took a nice bright one and I'm like, how much DoorDash,
Modern times is
yeah,
killing us, right?
yes, and kind of like out of nowhere expenses. So I just highlighted them all the same color. I went by month and I put that number and I wanted to throw up. I'm like, wow, I spent $14 on a gallon of milk because I was too lazy to go to the store.
Oh my God, Nora.
Yeah, because that's how DoorDash is.
Damn.
They charge like $5 for the milk, and then you tip, and then the service fee. And but then you're just like, because when I'm going to drop off Zoe, I'm like, fuck, I forgot to get her milk, so I just have to DoorDash it to the babysitter. I'm like, $12 to $14. I'm like, bro, I could have bought like 12 to 14. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's frustrating. So that now, like, because I pay $100 to Walmart and then I get my free delivery, and that's actually pretty, like, I love it. I've saved so much money doing the Walmart thing. But I order extra milk through the Walmart app.
Good.
I'm like, that's fine. And they don't go through DoorDash. They have their own stuff. So
no hidden
fees, none of that, which I love. So I set a budget for that. Now, I took all of my credit cards and I put the percentage, what my current balance is, and what the minimum payment is for each card. And I literally made, so I am a pen to paper kind of person, so I will show you guys. I got this from TikTok Shop. It was, I think, like, I want to say like $10 or something. I had like a coupon or something. I'll share it. So it's the budget planner, and it's broken down. And I wrote myself a little note. So the index, it says like financial goal creator, sinking funds, breakdown tracker, debt breakdown, like all this stuff. And it's the budget babe, Chana Marie, that's her name. So she's on TikTok. She has, literally this was just created on like Canva, and then she made this whole thing. I'm like, this is great. This is brilliant. So on the monthly calendar, like I put my paydays, I put like what bills or whatever, and I am so proud to say that I paid off 5 credit cards this month. So I did the snowball method, which is the lowest balance ones to the higher ones, but I did make a dent, and I literally just highlight the ones, and now I'm on to the next one, which is pretty substantial. But I'm like, okay, so my minimum payments from the previous ones that I no longer have, I was already making these payments, I can add those. So here's an example. If you're paying $45, $25 minimum on a credit card, I paid off 5. So say the minimum for all 5 were $25. I was already in the habit of paying that. Right. So $125 that no longer goes out can go towards the next step.
And that's exactly how I planned it out. I remember I told you, I was like, by this month you can see that you'll have so. And another thing too, I think that she also mentioned on the podcast, is about rewarding yourself.
Yes.
So what is that reward looking like? Because again, you have to make it fun.
Yeah.
However, again, that looks for you. The reward could be something small or something big that you're paying cash.
Yes.
For.
So I created my plan. I also broke down like how much I get paid every week after taxes and how many months am I going to take. So what does it realistically look like, and if it's attainable. I also sat with my husband. We had a very honest conversation. We said, okay, so this is how much everything costs. This is what comes in. This is what we're doing. We created a like a Christmas fund, birthday party fund, birthday gift fund, like all these kind of like sinking fund buckets, and how much every week we're going to put in cash to these. So we've agreed on a number, and we also scheduled on our calendar a monthly meeting.
I love that.
So we're going to sit 1 week prior to the end of the month, and we're going to go through the bills, how they're going to get paid, what's going to get paid, get them all done, what's extra, what do we want to do, so we can also plan our date nights. We can also plan things with the kids. and all of that and make sure that we have the funds and it's not a surprise. We've also included car maintenance, pet maintenance, stuff like that we've put to the side because, for example, Roberto got a new car yesterday because our lease was up. They try to tack on the tire maintenance. And I'm like, okay, well, how much is it per tire? And they're like, well, the package is $8.95. And I'm like, and how much are you charging? And they're like, $50 a month. And I'm like, okay. So I took out my calculator and I was like, so you mean to tell me that for 36, it's a 39-month lease. So where are you, calculator? So for a 39-month lease times 50, 1950. So you're pocketing from us poor schmoes $1,055. So I did $25 a week into car maintenance. That's what I'm putting aside. So God forbid we have any kind of oil changes, any kind of like tire issues
And
or
then being
whatever.
a newer car,
Correct.
again, don't be like the wear and tear of your tire. Like, how much are you actually driving?
Correct.
How far you drive? Those are
Correct.
all
Factors
things to consider.
Yes. So we do that. We stuff the envelopes now. Like we're doing that now. My dopamine boost is selling shit on Facebook Market. So, and how I treat myself. Okay, so I went into my garage and I was like, what haven't I used in months, years, in eons? And I took a picture of it, just snapped a quick picture, put it on Facebook Market for the maximum amount that I was willing to take. And then what, in my head, I'm like, I would take this much if it comes through or whatever. And I typically buy things from Facebook Market anyway if I'm looking for something. So that's always my first stop. So I started selling a lot of things on Facebook Market or any kind of thing that I have. I'll post it on my Instagram. With the cash from there is what I buy to upgrade my spaces. So that's how I bought the wallpaper. That's how I bought all the installs for like the shoe cabinet area for my closet. Everything came from what I made from Facebook Market. So that for me has been helping. And whatever extra I have in Facebook Market, I'm putting towards debt. So I'm aggressively paying these down. Like my goal again is 12 to 14 months realistically, but my tax money came in, went straight to cars to make sure that that was taken care of. But I feel like a lot of times, and they do talk about this, like, when you get those zero interest and blah, 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 you don't learn the lesson because you're already being bailed out. It's like when, like in this country, when they're like bailing out all these companies, they're not going to learn from their mistakes because they're constantly being bailed out. You have to go through yeah. So you have to go through the trenches. Like you have to make the sacrifices. You have to, know what hard work is. And again, I'm hyper focused on this. And this is truly something that I'm passionate about because I've been there before where my credit card debt was zero, where I had one card that had all of these points and I did it the way that it was like, I'm using this for all my bills. And at the end of the month, I pay myself. Like, that's it. That's what I've been doing. And I owe it to myself. I owe it to my kids when they're old enough to understand that it's not in the budget right now. You never want to say that to your child, but they need to learn it's not in the budget right now. Like you need to let's circle back. Let's see what we'll plan for it, whatever, because it's just not all willy-nilly. And having this discipline and being the first person in at least my family, like my sister is very good with her money. Like she has her little board and she does that, but she's always been like that. But she also takes a step back. Like she doesn't go do her hair. She doesn't go like she doesn't like to do any of that stuff. I'm like, no, my hair and my nails need to be done. But I did scale back. Instead of going weekly, I started doing bi-weekly. And now it's like I could push it to monthly and I'm good because I could slick my hair back and my nails can last for a month. Like I can do that. And I'm willing to make those sacrifices to be able to have that peace of mind, be able to take on opportunities that come because having good credit, having very low debt, being in charge of your finances, when opportunities come, you can make these big moves.
Right. And like I love that we're doing this collectively
Yeah.
because as a business,
Yes.
this is only going to help us in the future. Again,
Yeah.
when those opportunities present themselves.
Correct. And like
good luck, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
I got extra money for
Yeah,
this.
but I will tell you, like the feeling I had, when I had no credit card debt, like, and I could confidently
It's
be like,
amazing.
I was like,
Confident swipe a card.
no, not just that. It was like because we buy properties, so and I'm like, oh yeah, here are my taxes. Here's my bank statement, my 401k. Like, and the thing is, it's like you can't not know where your money's going.
Word.
You have to know. You have to have a plan for it. Like if your plan, like it is literally, you do a checkup every year with you do a checkup every morning. My habit is every morning I wake up and the first thing I look at are my bank accounts.
Word.
I'm like, what's there? Okay.
Don't go scroll
No,
on Instagram.
I go
Check-
straight into my bank
scroll your
account
bank account.
and I look and I'm like, what came in? Blah blah blah. I need to update my sheet. I need to do all of that. So, yeah, this is that's my plan. That's been what has been working for me, and it's a journey. It's not ending anytime soon, but we will update you as our journeys start. And then yeah,
how many wars is it gonna take for us
to get there. But this is the final. Like this was my lesson. This was my lesson. I'm done. Like I'm done. But yeah, so we will put all of these things in the show notes. If you guys are struggling or whatever, like DM us because
we've been there.
We're in it. We're in it. We're seeing the trend. We're in the trenches. And honestly, it's going to be something that we're never going to just get away from because we're going through it and we know how it feels. But creating the plan, and if you just want to bounce ideas off of each other or something like that, like just shoot us a DM or talk to us during our takeovers, and we could even do like a budget live if anything. Like I mean that I don't mind doing my monthly expense like and actually put I mean you won't see figures, but I could do all of that and just kind of how I go about it. And then like if Cindy's open to doing how like a blank spreadsheet and how she does it and record just so you guys have
an idea of what is actually like what we're looking at.
Yeah, like do your budget with me, like something like that.
That's so cute. But, I love it.
But yeah, so
speaking on budgets, make sure it's a budget for the Migas. We have collaborated with Building Her Dreams, and you guys already have met one of the Building Her Dreams ladies. So it's Alexandra and Marcella. We're so excited. The four of us are going to bring you guys an amazing event happening Saturday, August 3rd. And at the same time, we're celebrating Marcella's birthday and also our 2-year anniversary. Can you believe that shit? 2 years. 2 years. 4 seasons. Yeah, so we definitely want to see as many of you guys attend. These RSVP for your tickets, and we already released them, and the reservations are coming in. Yeah. So you guys get your tickets right now. We're having an early bird special. The price will go up, so secure your slot, ladies. Let's go. Tell budget. Your friend, tell your mama, tell your sisters, tell lottie dottie, everybody, especially if they need this. Yes. The empowerment, being in a room that is going to inspire you. This is the room you want to be in. Facts. But yeah, we love you guys. We love you. And as always, this episode is sponsored by the Migas. Like, comment, share, subscribe, please. We're trying to get to at least 100 followers on here by June. Let's go. Let's do this. Vámonos, ayúdanos. All right, guys. Thank you for listening and let us know what you thought. Yep. Bye. Bye.